England is being conquered by Muslims. Denzel Washington. This is not migration, it's invasion. The mayors of London, Birmingham, Leeds, Blackburn, Sheffield, and Oxford, Luton, Oldham, and Rochdale were all Muslims. I was over in Leeds in 1972 on a Boy Scout trip. It was Europe 72. All this was achieved by only 4 million Muslims out of the 66 million people in England. Today in England, there are over 3,000 mosques and over 130 Sharia courts and more than 50 Sharia councils. Oh, what law of the land is over there? 78% of Muslim women do not work and receive state support and free accommodation. Who's paying the bills over there? 63% of Muslims do not work and receive state support and free housing. Communism works until you run out of other people's money. State-supported Muslim families have an average of 6 to 8 children who all receive free accommodation. Boy, that's a wonderful thing to do. Cloward Piven strategy in full force over there. Cloward, C-L-O-W-A-R-D, Piven, P-I-V-E-N, strategy taught at the Columbia University. Every school in the UK is required to teach about Islam. Isn't that sweet? How infidels can't exist with the Islam people, huh? The number one most common baby name in England is Muhammad. Boy, you're going to run on that name, huh? This is not my immigration. This is absolutely an invasion. Stop the geoengineering madness. Robert F. Kennedy's recent announcements have brought renewed attention to the issue that is disseminating humanity. Let's wait for it. Watch. Quick, federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gangbangers to return to the U.S. after Trump invokes Alien Enemies Act. Oh, how about this? He never actually took the oath of office. Son of a gun. He didn't go along with that. The part about God. Where is it? So help me God on the next page here, number 79. Refusal for cause. This is a judge. And somebody accepted this and made him a judge anyway. Are you watching this, folks? Can you guess which judge protected Hillary Clinton by denying release of 15,000 of her emails until after the 2016 election? I think that's election interference. What do you guys think? And let's find out what Mr. McClintock had to say. Video.
I'm told that 92% of the judges who've issued blanket injunctions against the administration have been appointed by Democrats. That at least suggests a rather partisan tilt to all this, and it's not being done even-handedly. What's your view of that? Doesn't that undermine public confidence in our courts?
Well, I think if you look at the recent reports from various polling firms, clearly a majority of Americans believe that no single district judge should be allowed to issue a nationwide injunction. And I think that when you look, my judgment as a historian, this is clearly a judicial coup d'etat. You don't have this many different judges issuing this many different nationwide injunctions, all of them coming from the same political ideological background. And just assume it's all random efforts of justice. This is a clear effort to stop the scale of change that President Trump represents. And I agree, a lot of this stuff can be fought out. Some of it should be fought out in the Congress, but it shouldn't be micromanaging the executive branch on national security issues by random single judges who have no standing, they have no particular knowledge, they haven't been in the room, they don't know what the consequences of what they're doing are, and they put both Americans and the nation at risk when they intervene to become basically alternative presidents. You now have potentially 677 alternative presidents, none of whom won an election.
It's okay, sister. Oh, mashallah, brother. Oh, brother, wow. You are good. Everybody is Muslim here. Names have been chosen on Muslim scientists of the golden era of Islam. So this is the masjid, mashallah. They have the Salam Masjid here.
Mashallah, pura Musliman area.
Private park. Alright, I can't play here. Mashallah written on all of them. Allah Muhammad. Oh my god, this one is a real beauty. This is Muslims, right? Medina villas, I knew it. They're Muslim. The masjid is right next door. We just walk to the masjid. Mashallah, that's how easy it is here. Subhanallah, in America, in the United States. Welcome to Irving, Texas. And we are entering a very interesting community. A community made up of Muslims. A community where the street names are all Muslims. This is the Valencia State's Mahmoud Eagle Drive. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen, only in Dallas.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day, waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. We're going to make it wealthy, good and wealthy.
President Trump pushing ahead with his America First agenda.
Breaking news, Apple announced it's going to work with Foxconn to build a server factory in Texas by 2026.
The company says it is now planning to invest $500 billion in the U.S. economy.
The CEO of SoftBank pledging to invest $100 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
This is President Trump delivering on the promise he made to the American people on the campaign trail.
The idea is come to America, build greatness in America, build for American customers.
Project Stargate.
It's a joint venture between SoftBank, Oracle, and OpenAI, and they're going to create a data center that will eventually be expanded to other states.
Shows people are listening to Mr. Trump's pitch to bring new industry to America. This is the latest pledge from a foreign business leader promising to spend big in the U.S. as a result of Trump's election victory.
Founder of the property development company DeMac Properties is pledging the money.
President Trump announcing $100 billion investment from Taiwan Semiconductor, bringing the company's total American investments to $165 billion.
The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America.
Things happen so quickly in the Trump world, right? It's 100 days. It feels like it's 100 months. This is leadership. This is taking control of the problem for military, for everything, for industrial, for our economy. Even if it causes short-term pain, the reality is it is the right decision.
NVIDIA says it will invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years, part of the manufacturing renaissance under President Donald J. Trump.
Furniture maker Prepack are shifting their operations from Canada to North Carolina.
Johnson & Johnson says it will invest more than $55 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years.
Hyundai announced its $40 billion investment.
With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future.
This is the automobile industry, and now those plants largely have stopped and they're moving them to our country. Honda is building one of the biggest plants.
The trade story is certainly picking up speed here and pushing more countries to make these bigger investments.
It's another example of the Trump effect.
GE Aerospace announcing a nearly $1 billion investment into American manufacturing.
Eli Lilly announcing plans to expand its manufacturing here in the United States.
$27 billion additional spend, bringing our total to more than $50 billion.
The money's rolling in, and this is in the past 60 some odd days, Charles.
These are deep-pocketed folks who want to have a relationship, and it's just smart moves.
We are CMA CGM, one of the leaders in shipping and logistics around the world. Today, we are investing $20 billion.
Foreign leaders from around the world, investors from Silicon Valley to Wall Street to Main Street have confidence again in our economy and our markets and in President Trump.
The Trump effect this morning, a string of massive wins for American manufacturing. The numbers speak for themselves. Wisconsin-based Clarios is putting up $6 billion to expand its American operation. And what's driving these decisions? Well, President Trump's aggressive Made in America policies and his commitment to bringing industry back to American soil. This is exactly what Trump promised. America First is back.
Today, we're going to visit a moment in history, in financial history, that sent shockwaves through the commodities markets. The infamous Silver Thursday, which took place on March 27, 1980. However, all this came to a head on April 3rd, 1980. Interesting. This event followed the Hunt brothers' failed attempt to corner the silver market, which resulted in a dramatic collapse of silver prices and mass panic in financial markets. In 1979, silver prices soared, jumping from $6.08 per ounce on January 1st to an incredible $49.45 by January 18th, 1980. A stunning 713% increase. The Hunt brothers, Nelson Bunker Hut, William Herbert Hunt and Lamar Hunt capitalized on the surge. They were estimated to hold more than 100 million ounces of silver and numerous large futures contracts. In fact, they controlled nearly 1/3 of the world's privately held silver supply at one point. This created a crisis for anyone else looking to purchase silver, so much so that on March 26, 1980, the luxury retailer jeweler Tiffany's took out an ad in the New York Times condemning the Hunts for hoarding silver, like we are, saying it was unconscionable to drive silver prices up artificially, making it impossible for others to afford silver products. In response, the Hunt brothers market control, the COMEX Commodities Exchange, implemented Silver Rule 7 in January 1980, which restricted the use of leverage to buy silver contracts. Despite this, the Hunt brothers continued to aggressively accumulate silver, borrowing heavily to finance their purchases. However, as silver prices began to fall, the Hunt found themselves unable to meet the financial obligations that came with their enormous position. The tipping point came when the price of silver plummeted more than 50% in just 4 days. The Hunt brothers had invested heavily in futures contracts through several brokers, including Bache, Halsey, Stewart, Shields. As silver prices fell below their minimum margin requirement, the brothers were hit with a massive $100 million margin call. Unable to meet the margin call, the Hunts faced potential losses of $1.7 billion. This sparked a panic not only in the commodities and futures markets, but also across the broader financial markets. This was a real concern that if the Hunts couldn't pay their debts, major Wall Street firms and banks could collapse. So guess what happened? In an effort to stave off the disaster, a consortium of U.S. banks provided the brothers with a $1.1 billion line of credit, basically saving themselves, however, allowing them to pay off their debts to Bache, which ultimately survived the crisis. However, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, launched an investigation into the Hunt brothers, revealing that they had failed to disclose their whopping 6.5% stake in Bache, a major conflict of interest. Silver Thursday marked the end of significant stock market correction in 1980, but the ramifications were felt across multiple financial sectors. While the Hunt brothers lost over $1 billion, they managed to survive the financial fallout thanks in part to the rescue loan. However, valued their assets mostly in oil, sugar, and real estate continued to decline through the 1980s. By 1988, their net worth had dropped from $5 billion in 1980 to under $1 billion. The collapse of silver prices followed, with the London silver fix plummeting by 90% to just $4.90 per ounce. London silver fix, this is called the London Bullion and Marketing Association, the LBMA. And there's a bunch of you guys that get around a table in the morning, smoke cigars, and have some scotch or whatever, and say, hey, what are we going to set the price of silver at today? Hey, Charlie, what do you think? And they set it in order to make their friends wealthy or whatever. So you got to buy a seat on this round table that they have up there at the JP Morgan office. Well, what's happened now, a lot of people, a lot of the other players are saying, things are getting a little hot in the kitchen. They're trying to get out and sell their seats. Well, so they have a morning fix and the PM fix. That's what they call it. No kidding. They fix the price in the morning and they fix the price in the afternoon. Well, we're saying we're getting rid of all that nonsense. So in 1988, the Hunt brothers were found guilty of civil conspiracy charges for attempting to corner the silver market. They were ordered to pay $134 million in compensation to a Peruvian mineral company that lost money due to their market manipulation. Are we going to get our money back, guys? This resulted in one of the largest bankruptcy filings in Texas history. The saga of the Hunt brothers serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of excessive speculation and market manipulation. While the brothers were able to build an empire, their efforts to corner the silver market ultimately led to financial ruin. It's a reminder that even the most ambitious market moves can have unintended and often catastrophic consequences, especially when the markets are manipulated. That's where we want to be. Think of this, what's going on right now, folks, is that they are pushing this beach ball further and further and further down into the water. Now, as you push this beach ball further in the water, what happens? It's going to get harder and harder to control, right? Now, combat that with the fact they're continuing to add more and more naked paper shorts on top of this. That's how they're manipulating the price of silver. So think of my swimming pool, okay? Now, the swimming pool depth is 9 feet in the diving net. It's called the hopper, okay? But as you're pushing this beach ball down, it's going to get harder and harder. It might slip to one side of the X. But now the depth of the water has gone from 9 feet to 10 feet, and you're still pushing it down. Do you see the problem here? Eventually, what's going to happen, folks, is there's going to be so much pressure on this beach ball. One of two things are going to happen. Either the beach ball is going to collapse and lose complete control, or the other thing is they're going to lose control of the beach ball itself, slip out of their hands or whatever, going to pop up. When the beach ball flops up above the surface of the water, what's going to happen? Is it going to stay there, or is it going to go above the surface of the water? It's going to go above, and that's called irrational exuberance, something that Greenspan talked about a while back. What we're going to do, as I'm watching this thing very carefully, you guys want to be a part of this thing, connect with me. Don't ignore my text messages. That's not good. So if you want to get in on this, I'll tell you when the one-to-one is coming. And then my plan is I'm going to swap out 10% or 20% of the sealed Type 1 monster boxes for 20% American Gold monster boxes, Type 1s, one up. If you want to get in on this thing, reach out to me. There's only a couple of places you can do this. I already have 50 American Gold Eagle boxes coming in, and they are Type 1s in order to handle this kind of thing. The operation, this email just came in, this text, whatever, came in from Donald Trump at 5:33 a.m. this morning. We just got it. Here's what it says. The operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. Make America great again. Then I checked the stock market, folks. It's going to be an exciting day. Somebody was here and said, hey, I got $350,000 in the stock market. What do you think I should do? Get it out and make a phone call now. He didn't do it. Guess what? He's going to get locked out. Folks, this is what we're looking at. These are the real numbers right now. The stock market's heading down. Don't be dismayed about the artificial manipulation of the silver prices going down. Hold the silver. Get more if you possibly can. Do what the banks have done to us. Maximize the debts. Get the silver. Stick them with the paper. Let's make the silver ourselves. And we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Load up your truck, load up your tin can, load up your pockets, whatever you can, with as many rolls of dimes as possible. It's the least expensive way to get into the coin of the realm. Last time we can talk about this, folks, we're talking about a serious meltdown in the stock market right now. I don't think it's ever been quite this dramatic before, but down 1,560 points. Let's take a look at what the percentages it's down. These are big percentages, folks, nowhere near what it's going to be. We're looking at a 90% pullback in the stock market. Yes, I'm not wrong. What's been wrong is the market manipulator, something called the Plunge Protection Team, the Exchange Stabilization Fund. These are all manipulators, and what they've been doing to the market has been absolutely terrible to us. So without any further ado, let's stick with Amazing Grace. Hope you enjoyed that rendition. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Here's how to get in contact with us. Bye-bye.